So as David said, I'm Mary Boyce, Provost of Columbia University and also a professor of mechanical engineering there. And I really appreciate David inviting me to join you today in this remarkable group of business leaders, policymakers, as well as scholars and university leaders across Japan and beyond. It's really wonderful to bring such thought leadership together because I am a strong believer in how we can share ideas across many different areas, not just about higher education, but its intersection with the public sector and with industry and more. So it's really wonderful to be here today. So when we look at today's agenda items, these are really resonate for all of us for the future. Our digital world, sustainable cities, and higher education. These are actually intersect strongly today. And as both an engineer and a higher education leader, I'm deeply interested in how universities can help us find solutions for sustainability and leverage the advances of our digital world across many of these different elements. When we think of this, it's really a bit of a historic moment as we find higher education to be really an exciting sector, an area of innovation today, like it hasn't been in so long, the changes that can be occurring. It's one undergoing change. Here, and let me show you this first slide. What you're seeing here is the new expanded campus of Columbia. Columbia University, an Ivy League university in the United States, in the city of New York. As we further build this university into the 21st century, while still respecting our foundational elements and our traditional roots. As an engineer, I'm fascinated by how universities are undergoing a renaissance as educators, as creative researchers, and problem solvers, and now increasingly as leaders of impact. We can see universities expanding their research as well as their educational programs and innovation activities becoming powerful generators of solutions to address the full spectrum of societal challenges that we all face going forward. This growing list includes climate and sustainability, health and medicine, social justice and equity, technology and society, and also the frontiers of knowledge and discovery, and how these all engage with one another. These challenges attract and propel talent like never before. This is the talent of our students and their passions, and the talent of our faculty. And what we see today is that these are drivers that really motivate our students and our faculty to think differently and think bigger about what their education and what their research can do for the future. So while universities continue to incubate generations of critical thinkers ready to lead in a spectrum of roles, and also to propel knowledge in its highest and most pure form, they are also perhaps, as never before, transforming expertise into solutions and ideas into action. This development is driven by several factors, each of which presents opportunities for innovation in higher education, including the scale of challenges and the urgent demand for solutions on issues such as climate and sustainability, global health, and the rapid development of artificial intelligence. The evolving research funding environment and incentives provided by research sponsors. This is also changing dramatically in the United States. The increasing scope of partnerships between universities and other entities such as corporations, along with the public sector and civic institutions. And as I said before, our students' changing interests and passions and preferences, where students increasingly are seeking to be trained and educated to tackle the global challenges facing our world, their world in the future, no matter what their field of study. So I'll discuss each of these trends shortly. However, in order to address these and assess their implications, let's first examine the enduring elements of universities, okay, what we must remain true to. It is their core functions of research and education, from the basic sciences to the liberal arts, humanities and social sciences, on to engineering, that provide the foundation for their expanding new roles, turning knowledge into action and creating impact to confront societal problems. We often think about universities' roles training leaders, but they also transcend disciplines and do so in ways that now transform lives. So as we think of some of the enduring functions of the university, American universities in particular are, and as they have been throughout the U.S. history, a cornerstone of our democratic society and the foundation of economic strength. They have cemented this role through their essential functions of education, and in particular, a liberal arts foundation, exposing students to wide-ranging ideas, imparting ethics and values, and preparing critical thinkers and original thinkers for an uncertain future. Universities are also positioned to pursue the long-term fundamental research in the sciences and engineering, social sciences, and humanities that continually expands human knowledge and understanding. As we think of how is the university evolving, the contemporary university is building on the foundations of education and research in ways that align today with developments in society. They're now embracing new approaches, such as algorithmic and computational thinking, as a new fundamental. This was not a fundamental before, but it is a fundamental in our education today. The recent explosion of generative artificial intelligence further underscores this importance. Universities are capitalizing as well on our unique ability to bring diverse talent and diverse perspectives together for thought leadership and to translate research and knowledge to impact on the human condition. They're also taking new leadership roles on the global stage. So let's take a look at some of these foundations. In the educational mission, it is through our educational programs from the undergraduate level to professional master's degrees to doctoral studies that universities help advance knowledge and wisdom across generations, teach critical thinking, unleash creativity, foster an informed and responsible society, and expand the frontiers of knowledge. The importance of a foundational undergraduate education cannot be overstated. As an example, our Columbia Core Curriculum, which offers a broad-based and rigorous education in humanities and sciences and fosters the skills of careful observation, close analysis, effective argument, imaginative comparison, and respect for a variety of ideas, is as important today as it has ever been. We see this in the intellectually curious, dynamic, and culturally aware alumni who shape our world and the students that we attract today. It's also worth noting what an excellent foundation undergraduate studies in engineering are today as well. Our students across every discipline know this. So even if you're in the liberal arts, and they're voting with their feet for the fundamental importance of engineering in our world today. Computer science is now the most popular undergraduate major at Columbia across liberal arts as well as engineering. It has become a new fundamental part of our undergraduate degree to prepare students for the digital world in every field. So this isn't just about engineering or business, but every field. Our graduate professional programs are also all building in algorithmic and data science elements to their curriculum, from business to architecture to public health to journalism. No matter what field, this is shaping their world too. At Columbia's Fu Foundation School of Engineering and Applied Science, the undergraduate curriculum incorporates also elements of the liberal arts core, and also equips young minds with analytical, technical, and quantitative skills to bring deep understanding to a broad array of fields and to break down challenges into their component parts in order to be able to think about and develop solutions to the complex problems of our world. These students are eager to map their knowledge onto real-world impact. In our dynamic knowledge economy and rapidly evolving global environment, our educational programs are the bedrock upon which we build in order to realize our ambitions to train the next generation of leaders and innovators who will tackle the challenges of today. So when we also think about another fundamental area of research, here a second core role of the university is advancing knowledge through fundamental research. A deep intellectual curiosity in its purest and most advanced form will always be the heart of a research university. From the fields of history to chemistry and mathematics to psychology, our scholars continue to take on the great questions that have captivated our minds for millennia. And more than ever, they're coming together to transcend disciplines in ways that take on the world's challenges. This interdisciplinary mindset and cross-disciplinary collaborations now bring together expertise from many sources and fields to fuel breakthrough discoveries that inform our understanding of the world around us. So, for example, at Columbia, we can think of a few key examples. Our Zuckerman Mind-Brain Behavior Institute, where we build on and advance work of generations of scientists and philosophers probing the mysteries of the human brain, bringing together neuroscientists, psychologists, biologists, biomedical and electrical engineers, computer scientists, and more. We can now leverage new knowledge and technologies to understand the physiological mechanisms behind our sensory and intellectual experiences, coming ever closer to answers to questions that prior generations did not even have the knowledge to ask. Research is helping us understand how neurons store and recall memories and identify the underlying principles of sensory processing. While such discoveries may and often do have translational implications for some of the most devastating diseases and conditions, understanding the human mind, brain, and behavior is a driving mission in its own right. We can also see this deep intellectual curiosity in our quantum initiative, through which we are discovering, characterizing, and deploying entirely new forms of quantum matter. And while this work, which brings together physics, chemistry, and engineering, among other disciplines, puts us on the leading edge in computer science, it is done in pursuit of fundamental discovery, driven by the belief that a better understanding of the world around us is essential. These are just a few examples. Others include our Nano Initiative, which fosters research in nanoscale science and engineering, creating materials and devices with novel optical, electrical, and mechanical properties. Research initiatives in energy and energy storage, advances in biomedical sciences along with attendant therapeutics, and many, many more. So even our fundamental work is changing by transcending disciplines and bringing different scholars together. What we also see is that these centuries-long scholarly and pedagogical traditions are the building blocks for dynamic new roles of universities. Institutions like Columbia, and we are not alone, are increasingly marshaling the power of our intellectual resources and are working to determine how they can be deployed to most effectively engage with the challenges that face the world, from pandemics to climate change, to economic development, to global conflict, to cybersecurity. But to take action requires new engagement and partnerships, whether with government officials who can create innovative policies or corporate entities that can develop and scale solutions for clean energy transitions. At Columbia, we have embraced the work of translating scholarship into action in partnership with other organizations from industry to policymaking to communities in order to solve pressing societal needs, and we have declared this as a core purpose of the university. One distinct from, but also interwoven with our education, service, and fundamental research. We can see this purpose reflected in the new Columbia Climate School, the first climate school established in the United States. We just graduated the school's third cohort of master's students earlier this month. And other universities are all rapidly expanding all that they do in climate. This trend is driven by a broad recognition that new interdisciplinary forms of organization within the university are also needed, so that experts in fields ranging from earth sciences to engineering to policy to law can work together beyond their disciplinary silos to develop solutions to some of our greatest needs, such as climate. The Climate School also brings together groups and organizations outside the academy to expand impact. Academic work is translated into analysis to inform industries, policymakers, and more. And it also has a range of programs to educate broad public audiences. Another place where we see the drive to combine fundamental research with transforming scholarship into action is the Data Science Institute. Driven by a mission of leveraging data for good, the DSI leverages the interfaces between data science and other fields, industries, and sectors to tackle issues including cybersecurity, smart cities, healthcare, climate, misinformation, finance, equity, and social justice. Once again, given their drive for impact, partnership is at the heart of their work. Seeded by an award from New York City's Economic Development Corporation, the Institute collaborates with partners to translate data into discovery and innovative technologies with broader benefit and impact. The Data Science Institute has strong engagements with corporations with nearly 20 industry affiliates supporting the education, research, and innovation programs. University-wide organizations like these are complemented by countless exciting local and organic efforts. In the design challenges and hackathons that are held regularly across our schools, bringing students and faculty from across disciplines, we see our students already tackling the biggest and getting engaged and tackling the biggest challenges and innovating solutions in fields from engineering to policy. So when we look at all of this, we also see in the US that the research landscape is changing. The focus on turning knowledge into tangible solutions that we see at Columbia and many other universities has a parallel within our public sector, where we see an exciting trend of research funding agencies expanding their focus towards translation and impact. Just 1 year ago, the National Institutes of Health, NIH, the U.S. federal government agency responsible for supporting the fundamental biomedical research, launched Advanced Research Projects Agency for Health, ARPA-H. You probably all know about DARPA, which is Defense Advanced Research Project Agency. Now we have ARPA-H as a new initiative to support high-risk ideas that can translate to real-world impact. This organization, proposed by President Biden in 2021, is designed to address what was seen as a hole in the funding model for our biomedical areas. While the overwhelming majority of new government-approved therapeutics can be traced back to NIH-supported discoveries, both government and industry recognize that the funding landscape often could not support many promising ideas, given cost, risk, time frame, and the need for coordination and more. In response to this, NIH created the new agency, ARPA-H, to accelerate breakthroughs, transform treatments for disease, and expand healthcare access and equity. Similarly, the National Science Foundation, which funds approximately 20% of all federally supported basic research in the U.S., created its first new directorate in 30 years, called Technology, Innovation, and Partnerships, TIPS. This new body works to foster innovation and technology ecosystems, propel translation, and bring academia, industry, and other partners together to use inspired, and translational research to meet social and economic needs. Also, within the past year, the U.S. Congress passed the CHIPS Act, legislation to invest in domestic semiconductor manufacturing, research, and design. The legislation is aimed at strengthening domestic industry, creating jobs, and supporting workforce development. It is opening up opportunities that we are now exploring with companies and peers across New York State and beyond, and also globally. These initiatives follow other existing impact-oriented opportunities like the Department of Energy's ARPA-E, Advanced Research Project Agency for Energy, which funds potentially disruptive technologies to change the way we generate, store, and use energy. Funding opportunities like these challenge us not just to innovate, but to make our innovation impactful. It's used also as an opportunity to create jobs, diversify the talent entering STEM and other fields, and bolster the economy. So this all feeds back into a university and how we can really accelerate and support our research and our translation of research to real products for the world. So Columbia, with as many schools focused on public interest-related research and training as any university in the country, is well positioned to address the intersection of new technologies with ethical and policy issues. In addition to subject matter expertise, universities bring a unique quality to this endeavor. Universities have an openness in research, transparency, and commitment to academic freedom, which provide a singular platform for advancing trustworthy solutions and propelling innovation to address societal challenges. Some of the key elements David mentioned in his opening remarks. This is critically important in a range of areas, but especially on frontiers of technology. So here I'll pick one of the themes of today's conference, smart cities, where a spectrum of interconnected technologies promise to create a more efficient, sustainable, and livable urban environment, and have confronted challenges to development and implementation on issues including privacy, data security, and equity. So in concert with my comment on NSF and directions they're going in, these considerations were at the core of a new NSF-funded engineering research center, the Center for Smart Streetscapes, which Columbia is leading in partnership with 4 other universities and numerous public and private sector partners. The project aims to develop a network of applications that will sense human behavior and leverage technology to offer assistance, such as guiding disabled pedestrians, deploying emergency service, assisting in road safety, and more. To this ambitious goal, we bring a vast interdisciplinary team of experts across engineering, social science, and policy to ensure the technologies we develop are co-created and built with the trust and participation of the communities that they will impact. The project's technologies can respond to behavior in real time while being restricted from collecting and storing data on individuals that is not anonymized. The project is built around 5 key thrusts. A core pillar focused on safety, equity, and community engagement. a Y-Edge focused on wireless optical networking and edge cloud computing, situational awareness focused on real-time behavior observation and prediction, public interest technology, and streetscape application. The center is led by academia with partnerships in community organizations, local, state, and federal government, and the private sector, all working together to develop technologies that are beneficial for a broad range of stakeholders, for prioritizing the social good. Another example regards also addressing the potential of artificial intelligence. Academy's thoughtful approach to technological engagement has never been more critical, especially with current rapid acceleration of advances in AI and related technologies. We bring the expertise to consider and mitigate unintended consequences of new technology, and we've all been seeing a lot of that happening lately. And we bring a focus on ensuring ethical use of technology that is interwoven throughout our academic and research programs. And we are proud that leading tech partners, industry partners, are coming to us for that role. For example, we are pleased to partner with Amazon on the center, the Columbia Center of Artificial Intelligence Technology, which hosts a range of faculty, student, and community initiatives to advance AI in order to contribute to a more secure, connected, creative, sustainable, healthy, and equitable humanity. And this is sponsored by Amazon. We have the opportunity to also embed fairness, safety, and ethics into technology as it is developed, as in our newly announced AI Institute for Artificial and Natural Intelligence, ARNI. The National Science Foundation-sponsored project includes a number of corporate partners, including Google, Meta, and IBM. It will connect advances in neuroscience to those in artificial intelligence, and we anticipate it will have applications in industrial and healthcare sectors, among others. Columbia brings unparalleled expertise in AI and its interaction with neuroscience and cognitive science to the project. But one of the most unique and important contributions we make here is bringing scholarly leadership in fair machine learning that corrects for algorithmic bias and foregrounds equity. The AI models developed will be trustworthy systems that are able to explain their reasoning to end users in terms they understand, and a critical element to developing artificial intelligence that will benefit society. We also have a focus on bringing AI to the climate problem. Here at Columbia, another government-sponsored center is called LEAP, Learning the Earth Through AI and Physics. LEAP's primary research strategy is to improve climate projections by merging physical modeling with machine learning across a continuum from expertise in climate science and climate modeling to cutting-edge computer science and machine learning algorithms. The benefits will be dramatic for both the climate and data science community. The physics-based modeling it will enable extrapolation of models, and AI feeds us in better identifying physics-based models. So we see the impact of new technologies across a range of fields, from climate to medicine to neuroscience and to technologies in general and how they impact streetscapes and beyond. We see that our students are seeking to really understand how their knowledge can be brought to bear on these societal challenges as well. The focus on solution-driven impact aligns with the evolving interests and choices of a new generation of students who are highly motivated. Universities' growing emphasis on engaging beyond the walls of campus is driven in part by the ambitions of the current generation of students who, regardless of chosen field, are eager to be impactful actors on the global stage. They are increasingly seeking out internships and experiential learning opportunities beyond the classroom, including through fellowships for social impact and for civic action. Growing numbers of students are going from undergraduate studies directly to professional school programs to help solidify their avenues for impact. From engineering to policy, or from social sciences to data science, eager to map knowledge onto real-world impact in both local and global communities. Hence, universities are developing ecosystems around innovation and entrepreneurship to really engage and accelerate our students and faculty to confront such challenges. We are developing entire ecosystems to really enable our students and our faculty to have such impact. And this includes also engagement with industries. When we think of the different kinds of programs that we have for our faculty and students, they really extend from generating the initial idea onto building that idea into a product. We have lab-to-market accelerators. These are ways of providing support to faculty and research to take that basic research idea and turn it into a real product so that that can then go out into a real-world market and have an impact on society. If we look at the startup companies coming out of a place like Columbia, an Ivy League university, it might surprise you. This is a trajectory over time. And what we're seeing is the increase, and these are just startup companies. Our IP also gets licensed and scaled by major industry. But we're seeing this intention of taking our research and propelling it into real-world impact. So the university as an incubator of startups is really another growing area in the United States, and in particular at Columbia. In fact, many might not be aware how big an effort Columbia has been put into supporting our faculty, our students, our research to really take their research and have real-world impact. And in fact, Columbia is the number one when it comes to science-based startups launched. So that might surprise you. You might have other universities on your mind when you think that way, but I'm pointing it out here not to be, a proud Columbian, but to point out the role of a university today is certainly changing, and the translation of our work to real-world impact is part of a core of who we are. I want to comment briefly on our role with industry before I close. We have many different ways that we engage with industry. We talked about IP, the intellectual property coming out, and how this can be scaled and is licensed by companies to scale that, to scale that IP into real products at scale. We also see the innovations and the startups coming out and how those scale into industry. But we also see the industry's real interest in our students and our ability to really support and propel our students as the next generation of leaders and innovators, and the need for talent in companies from our students and from our faculty. One more point I want to make is I talked about the innovation ecosystem of a university, that within the university that we have many ways that we propel innovation across our students and faculty to take their ideas to real-world impact. We are seeing across universities in major cities in the United States an entire ecosystem built around the university, industries moving closer and closer to the universities because they're looking at the university as part of their economic driver. If you look at the city of New York, you might think of us as a financial hub, but we are also now a life science hub. We are a media hub. We're a technology hub. The universities are an incubator for talent. They're an incubator for ideas, and they're an economic driver. And so you're starting to see a whole different ecosystem, innovation ecosystem, building up around the university. It feeds into the university, but the university also feeds into that ecosystem. And industry, major industry, is a key part of that. I will close with a final comment on our global partnerships. Okay, we've talked about industry partnerships, government partnerships, but universities also have a purity in them that really can stand true to global partnerships, that our research, our education needs to be open. We need to have exchanges where we're able to really push the frontiers of knowledge, bring the different ideas from across the world together to really propel that frontier and turn those into real-world solutions. And there's never been a time more important than this to think about how do we, as universities, still function in that way with the geopolitical situations and how important that is. One way Columbia is doing this is by creating small outposts across the world in order to help facilitate students and faculty to engage with different parts of the world. So we have 11 global centers. We also are working university to university across the world, both through research collaborations, but also through dual degrees, right? Dual degree programs, because it's really students are a way to bring this global collaboration together in very fast and profound ways. So the sense of how do we think of ourselves as a convener around global areas and really being able to maintain those global exchanges and partnerships and collaborations, and also as a vehicle to engage together in looking at the challenges facing our world. Today we're going to be talking about smart cities and urban landscapes, and about sustainability. So we can think about these are not problems of any city or any country alone. They're global problems, and universities do need to be part of that global engagement and can actually be a key partner to actually making and keeping those global collaborations alive. So I'll close here because I'm now minus 2 minutes, I think. All right. Okay, and thank you very much.